around, hanging around, hanging around.
From Minnesota-Duluth's perspective, if they were able to salvage another point or even possibly two, what a huge comparison to have. This is a team that currently is very much on the bubble for an NCAA tournament position, but you want to help your cause. Go win a season series against Wisconsin, because there's not any other team in the country that's going to have a victory over them come the end of this weekend, and only two other teams, Minnesota and St. Cloud, that are going to have points of any kind. So that could definitely help the candidacy of Shannon Miller's Bulldogs if they're able to rally one more time against the national champs here tonight. Jamie Rasmussen behind her own net as the third period gets underway. UMD skating left to right, Badgers right to left in this final period as Martin scoops it over the line on the backhand. Blay pressuring against Zog, and the whistle is out from the linesman for offside.
Yeah, the referee is getting in the way of the puck here, I think. You know, I remember being a little kid and just watching them jump up on the boards, do pull-ups basically with the glass, but I don't know if they just kind of tell them to just let the puck avoid you or what.
I think in women's hockey, it's sort of accepted over the course of a game. There is going to be a sequence of plays where the linesman and or official will be involved and get in the way of a pass, and you just hope that it doesn't create a chance or an injury. Actually, we saw last week against St. Lawrence and Dartmouth, a linesman actually contributed to what looked to be an injury to Dartmouth's Katie Weatherston. Now, fortunately, she was able to shake it off and come back, but she actually could not avoid contact with a St. Lawrence player because the linesman was in her path.
Yeah, we see Rita Schäuble scooping up a fluttering shot into the zone here, and you know, she's really trying to control the pace of this game here, and she's doing a great job of it.
Schäuble having a fine night. Talked about her up and down senior season. Shannon Miller referenced that weekend against Minnesota State where she gave up the 10 goals, and that really seemed to put Kim Martin in the driver's seat in position because of the knee problems. It forced Schäuble to come back strong, and she swallows up another shot here from distance and kind of gained confidence. And
well, we knew it was going to be a unique situation coming into this season. I mean, both of them probably considered a couple of the top goalies in the world, really. And, you know, the good thing for the Bulldogs is that they both appear to be playing fantastic hockey in February.
Down low, Peltery scrapping with Bauer. Peltery holding her ground against the smaller star forward, but then losing to Duggan. In front is Zog. Duggan couldn't get the puck to her. Zog continuing to try to find space and make herself available. Now she has the puck on the forehand, but the shot is bothered. It bounces back in front. Homelove pushes it to the blue line. Unfortunately, Matthews had backpedaled into neutral ice. Long distance slapper sticked aside by Schäuble one more time as Wisconsin heads for changes. Bauer gets together with Peltery behind the cage. Homelove now stepping onto it. And Sweden hands off to Finland as Homelove gives to Peltery. Peltery moves up left wing. Bauer angles her off. Here comes Hansen into the play as Martin banks it off the glass and out to center ice. The official shot totals in that second period, 16-5 on goal for the Badgers. However, 31-9 in attempts as UMD's defense blocked 7 additional shots. And here comes Hansen to the front. Wrist shot is saved. Rebound, and Schäuble got that one as well to stop Tia Hansen. Emily Kranz held it in the zone for a moment and then caught a piece of Homelove's body and went out of the zone. Wisconsin continuing to keep the rink tilted here, picking up right where they left off in period number 2, but still only leading 1-0 with 17.5 to go in the third. Schäuble down low, gives to Sarah Murray. Murray, ring around the net, got the clear up left wing. UMD bottled up along their blue line. Bulldog is tripped up. It was Vacher. Lawler trying to accelerate into the zone. He was stood up along the wall, down behind the net. Now it's Madela against Jasmine Giles. On the far side, it's wrapped free. Keasley holds it down low to Schäuble, and she'll settle it and cover it one more time as the Badgers continue the log attack zone time.
They got the old rope-a-dope thing going on here, the Bulldogs. Shannon Miller would probably tell you it's part of the plan here. Lull them to sleep and then surprise them in the end, just like last night. But
off the draw, shot is blocked, bounces back to the point, in steps Bible. Drive sails wide from an angle. Lively carom around is held by Matthews along the strike. Now to Keasley, half circle outside on the near boards. 2-on-2 scrap develops there, and the puck is stalled long enough. I want to go back to that point. You say it in half jest. Hockey is a game where it's probably tough to conserve energy. Do you think any of that is going on from UMD's standpoint, that, hey, if we can just weather maybe this stretch of the game, we can put together a final charge here later in the third?
Well, I think there was some of that with the strategy of, being a little bit more passive in the D zone and in the penalty kill and whatnot. But, you never want to quit working. You got to be working the entire time, or else you're going to get torn apart in this league. So, a little bit from the strategy standpoint, but certainly not with the work ethic.
Matthews in front, turning was Keasley as it bounced off her skates. Badgers had a transition look there, but couldn't get the pass tape to tape, and things opening up with the feed the other way, too far for Blay and down for icing. I agree with you. Hockey is not the sport where you can really do that. It's based around going hard for your 30 seconds to 60 seconds and getting off, no matter how many players you have available. But it is, as you say, little things strategically you might be able to do to conserve some of the reserves as UMD tries to hold in. Face off to the left of Schäuble. 16:26 to go in the third. It is still 1-0 Wisconsin. Megan Duggan from Erica Lawler and Megan Mickelson. In the final minute of the first period is all we have on the board as Marin carries forward on left wing, trying to thread to Lonsel in the middle. Tipped off her stick to Sluicer, and back the other way it goes to Sarah Bauer. Bauer has Duggan on her right, Zog on her left, carries over the line, draws a lot of attention as he hits the high slot, and now has it down low on the return feed from Megan Duggan. Bauer off the wall, works her way into the circle. Nice through the defense, spun down in the slot. There's a penalty coming up to UMD as Christine Dufour scampers to the bench and the 6-8er comes on. Morris settles it down at the point. Home Love touches up, and the call is going to be made as Sarah Bauer draws the hold, and it will be Wisconsin back to the power play where they've looked good but haven't cashed in tonight.
Yeah, on that penalty there, more of that speed creating, drawing penalties. Michaela Alonso just a little step behind Bauer coming out of the corner there, and she really had no choice. It's either give the reigning Patty Kazmaier Award winner a free shot at the net or give her a little nudge to the ice, and she chose the nudge.
Bauer is still out there orchestrating on the far side. Mickelson at the head of the umbrella. Sluicer outside the near ring, and she's handling now. Now to Mickelson. Passive box. Mickelson steps in for the wrist shot. Save is made. Rebound is pushed wide by Duggan. Zog gathers it back out to Bauer in the circle. Up top to Mickelson. Sidestepping. Steps in for a wrist shot that did not go through. Went off the skates of Karen DeMule. And UMD gets the clearance through the air.
Looks like they're trying to get some even more traffic in front of the net there. Janelle Zog, of course, at 6'1", has been planned in front of the net pretty much the entire game, but they're trying to get Duggan in front there, and she's not a small girl either at 5'9".
Sluicer with a one-timer. That was blocked by Trepanier in front to carry him out to Mickelson. Swings it right back to Bobby Joe, and outside the near ring, the All-American sends to Bauer outside the circle. They're playing catch up top. Bauer down low, Duggan in front, a sliding defender. It was Trepanier, broke up the pass with a minute to go on Alonzo Minor. Bauer, goal line extended, in front, one-timer Zog, saved by Schäuble. Puck is loose, high at edge of the crease, and Homelove bats it down.
I'm just looking on the ice there at the talent that Wisconsin has and the way they can move the puck, the way they can shoot, and the brains that they have. And, if I'm a Bulldog, I'm stressed looking at them with the puck.
Keasley in transition trying to center to Lawler. Broken out of the zone, though, and here's Rasmussen wandering forward short-handed. Jamie Rasmussen from the sharp angle lofts it high and wide. 14:19 to go in the period. 27 seconds on the Lonzo Minor. Wisconsin still with the 1-0 lead, still in search of some insurance as Morris fumbles it in the neutral zone, and Rasmussen pushes it back the other way so DeMule can give chase against Mickelson. Mickelson gets there first, wheels it to the center, and the nice headman pass comes through. Morris from her backhand position puts it just wide of the near post, and the puck is stalled on the back of the netting, so see defensemen at both ends, Rasmussen and Morris pressing for offense as Lonzo has 6 seconds before she can come out of the box.
Yeah, Rasmussen's actually been down in the offensive zone a couple times here in this game. There's one time last period where Rasmussen and Suvi Vacher, two natural defensemen, were deep in the Wisconsin zone. And it just, Bulldog fans, I'm sure, thought that looked a little bit funny with those two down there.
UMD wins the draw, and that's going to do it for another Badger power play. So Minnesota-Duluth done a nice job in special teams tonight when they've been shorthanded, but still they trail by a goal with 13:40 on the third period clock. Hansen trying to dipsy-doodle her way over the blue line, lost on the stick check, supported by Matthews. Matthews flubs it over the line. Here's Jasmine Giles losing on the stick check to Jill Sales as Peltery scoops up near side. Right back to Sales. Sales on left wing. One clearing attempt was denied. Then she turns the puck over to Jasmine Giles. Giles to Kranz. Emily Kranz off of the first Badger goal last night, trying to put it to the front. That was chopped back out to center ice, and Mickelson right back out there. Mickelson runs into some trouble, but has teammates with her. And Kranz lobs deep on left wing, and Duggan will get the first touch against Peltery. Duggan wheeling out of the corner, walking to the high slot. Duggan still continuing to carry as she feeds Zog on the far side. Janelle Zog now curls up to the blue line. Zog on the forehand. Wrist shot. Not sure Schäuble thought it made the save. The follow-up comes through. Schäuble swats that aside. And here's Duggan in the circle. That shot is blocked. Partially bothered by the stick of Alonso. It's down low. The Badgers continue to buzz. Here's Zog again trying to protect against the smaller Marin as she cycles on through to Bauer. Bauer now handing off and turn to Rachel Bible. Bible trying to push it toward goal. Send it wide instead. It rolls around on the far side as Mickelson controls. Non-stop offense for the Badgers. Here's Zog between a couple defenders. Lonzo on the poke check. Sidestepping is Mickelson. Mickelson gets around two players. Walks her way into the circle. Schäuble pushes it back to the corner. Peltery gets a stick to it, but she's promptly double-teamed. Here comes Bauer. Down low, Zog in front. There's Duggan crashing. Schäuble reaching for it, and she gets the cover.
The Wisconsin forward there getting her stick up high on Heidi Peltery, and could have been called for a high stick there, but instead Wisconsin gets another opportunity that Schäuble easily scoops up.
So more of the same. Badgers have the only 7 shots of this period. Now 35 for the game to just 16 for UMD. But Rita Schäuble and the Bulldog defense doing a nice job of doing just enough to stay in this one and stay one good bounce or one big play away from tying things up. 11:55 on the clock. Lawler, nice move in the high slot. Wrist shot, Lawler. She snapped it just wide. Jasmine Giles on the follow down low is bodied hard by Trepanier. Keithley scoops it up, works her way to the far corner, curling up the wall, leaving now on the cycle to Lawler down low. On through to Giles. Giles trying to get it in front to a cutting Keithley. That was blocked off by Sarah Murray. Murray pushes forward. Sluicer denies along the blue line. And the puck rolls around back to the far corner as Giles gives chase against Trepanier. Trepanier to Karen DeMule. DeMule feeds Emmanuel Blay. She's got good jump on right wing, and the drive from Blay into the glove of Dufour, who catches and holds.
You know, shot on the net for the Bulldogs there, but again, the Wisconsin defensemen doing a great job of keeping those shots to the outside and somewhat harmless there in this second half of the game.
But a good shot because it forced Dufour to catch and settle, so if nothing else, UMD does get an opportunity to take an offensive zone draw, and they win it to Vacher for the wrist shot, but that was blocked between the circles by Hansen. Far side, Wagner holds a little while longer. Matthews matched up with Vacher down low. Matthews bangs it off the wall. Olsen mishandles it, and Emily Kranz taps it on ahead. Kranz on the backhand, got it to the stick of Kyla Sanders. She's met by Erin Olsen. The bouncing puck along the red line finally controlled by Suvi Vacher. We're under 11 to go in the third period, and still Wisconsin clinging to the 1-0 lead. Ashley Wagner losing down low to Sanders. Sanders looking at what she has. The pass deflected by Rasmussen. Rachel Bible outside the near circle. Sends it on down low to Tia Hansen. Hansen out of Medicine Hat, Alberta, working her way behind the net against California native Jamie Rasmussen. Hansen backhanding to the front. We got a penalty. I see Sanders down in a pile of snow.
I think we're going to get interference here on Suvi Vacher. Sanders in front of the net, not really in a harmful position there, and Suvi, I believe, gets her hands up high. She actually didn't have a stick on the play, which is probably why she got her hands up, because she had handed hers to Wagner, who had lost her stick moments earlier there. I don't know what's going on with the UMD sticks tonight, but it seems like they must be extra greasy, because we've seen about 4 or 5 or 6 dropped sticks in the D zone.
So another Badger power play. How long can they be held at bay? Duggan in front. Zog came up empty on the one-time attempt. Diving after it is Marin, selling out along with Sluicer, and Marin wins that battle to clear the zone. Good matchup between star players there, giving it their all. Ellen Homelove back in her own end. Has plenty of time to turn and fire this one all the way down as we come up on the midway point of the third. And Wisconsin still in search of an insurance tally. Megan Duggan's 20th in the final minute of the first period is all we have on the board. It's 1-0 in favor of the defending national champions. Janelle Zog just inside her own zone. That's an Aaron headman pass intercepted by Lonzo at center. And as she's tripped up, there's going to be a call and response. So finally the Badgers make some semblance of a mistake there as Lonzo was tripped to the ice. And so we'll have 4-on-4 as things will open up a little bit more here for a minute 16.
Turnover in the neutral zone. Michaela Lonzo picked off a pass there and was about to send it to the far end of the ice, and Bowers just got her stick just enough in her feet to trip her up, and pretty obvious penalty there.
So 4-on-4 as the Kazmaier winner joins Suey Vacher in the box. And Lonzo chasing after Slusser in the defensive zone. Slusser wheeling away. And there's a pick applied by Emily Morris as Slusser moves to the neutral zone. Wisconsin may be getting away with a little bit of something there as well. Down low, Slusser now in the offensive zone, handing off to Lawler. Lawler a blind centering pass, only UMD Bulldogs manning the crease, and it's lobbed on ahead as Lonzo comes forward one-on-one. Lonzo pulls up and waits for reinforcements, head of the circle. Still protecting the puck as a German national teamer. Feeds Sales. Sales puts it toward goal. Slusser stuck a stick in the way of that. Gives over to Lawler on the far side, and Lawler motors behind her own cage. Lonzo, another speedy smurf, matches her step for step as the puck comes to center ice. Ellen Holmlove leaves for Star Tuominen. Tuominen pushing forward on the backhand, too far for Blais. Reaches Emily Morris instead. We got 4-on-4 for 29 seconds, and then an abbreviated power play for UMD with now 8:57 to go in the third period, 1-0 in favor of Wisconsin. Angie Keesley. Far side to Mickelson, the lead pass, cheating is Lawler. Here comes Lawler on a partial break. Lawler, wrist shot, she puts it high and wide. Looked like she might have lost her footing a bit as she tried to tee that one up. And back the other way we go as Marin skate stops it for Blais, who lost in the poke check but gets support from DeMule. DeMule has a full head of steam, but her pass for Blais is broken up. And maybe a 2-on-1 the other way. Jasmine Giles engineering on right wing. In front for the tip from Duggan that went just high. Marin is barreled over in the corner. We got a penalty here. That one's going to go to the Badgers as well. UMD might be wise to let Wisconsin touch the puck. And actually, they're going to get tagged for having the sixth skater come on too soon. But you know what, Ange? That might not be the worst thing for them because I think they're going to wind up okay with a 5-on-3.
I think so. That play, I mean, give credit to Noemi Marin. They're going to have a minute and a half of 5-on-3 play here. Badgers were going down on a legitimate 2-on-1. She caught up to the player, and as she was trying to get the puck away, the Badger player just stepped right in front of her.
I wonder if Shannon Miller would use a timeout here. There's 8 minutes to go in the third. You're a little short-handed. It's a 5-on-3 opportunity for 30 seconds.
Well, as Mark Johnson was just chatting with the ref there, he got somewhat of a break.
So late substitutions. A little bit of confusion on the UMD side. Now they have their 5. So this
Badgers are not happy. UMD took their time getting out there.
And they win the draw. So here they come moving forward. 25 seconds of 5-on-3. Is this their chance? Down 1-0 here in the third. Marin over the line with 20 seconds. Pressure still being applied by Slusser. Wrist shot. Glove save Dufour. There was no screen in front, so she holds on easily.
Not really the shot you want to be taking on a 5-on-3 here. Bulldogs get in the zone, start to look to set something up. Sales takes kind of an off-balance wrist shot from the point with no traffic. 5-on-3, got to be getting a better chance than that.
So again, focused on the face-off. Lawler is excellent in the circle, but Lonzo wins it cleanly back to Marin. Marin is set up, 10 to go on the 5-on-3. Marin on the big one-timer, shoulder save Dufour. It's knocked down with a high stick, and as Lonzo hits the post, the play was already dead as Emmanuel Blais had played that puck in the air with a stick too high.
Great one-timer by Marin, but pretty obvious high stick there. Even Emmanuel Blais, standing just over 5 feet tall, got the stick way up and pretty obvious. It's so tough, though, when that puck is just floating right out there to have the patience to wait for it to come down to the ice.
So that will just about do it for the 5-on-3 as the draw moves back by Shortland. But there will still be a minute and a half of 5-on-4 as I think Marin's going to be chased from the circle. And Lonzo will do the honors. Lawler brings it to the corner. Peltery wraps it around to Sales. Sales has an outlet through the center in Lonzo. Here comes Lonzo as Bauer is out of the box. Marin pushes it over the line. Bauer bothered her a little bit, so Slusser will get the touch in the corner, but can't clear by Heidi Peltery all on the point. Now Peltery stepping in. Her shot did not go through. Bauer was right in the way of that, and now Lawler steps forward short-handed. A nice pass through traffic finds Bauer short-handed, but then she has the puck roll on her a bit, and back the other way is Peltery. On the indirect pass, Lonzo, it caught the linesman. That stalled Lonzo's momentum. Lonzo still has it back down in the corner. Matched up with Morris. Nice moves from Lonzo, but couldn't quite hang on to it. Still, UMD has possession with 55 seconds on the 5-on-4. Need to get their spacing set, and now Peltery has it up top as she feeds Sales to the far side. Back to Peltery, now near circle. Sara Tuominen fumbles the pass, and Peltery misses it at the point. So a little bit of disorganized play here from UMD. Down 1-0 with 7 to go in the third, and the power play a wasting as Wisconsin sends it a distance once again. Schäuble stops it behind the cage for Jamie Rasmussen. A partial change in the lines for Shannon Miller's Bulldogs as Rasmussen totes it forward to the offensive zone. Rasmussen with some speed, dispossessed though by Mickelson, who quickly retreats behind her net. Takes a moment to gather, but couldn't clear by Karin DeMule. Blay, in turn, though, is dispossessed by Duggan, and so far, a very clean penalty kill for the Wisconsin Badgers. One final charge for Blay on the 5-on-4. 5 seconds before Giles can return. Blay barreling through the defense, got one in on net, and Dufour forced to make a cover.
Manuel Blay, such a competitor. You know, she's never going to give up on a play. So easy there, going down on basically a 1-on-3, and gets a shot on net and even gets through for another little whack in case there's a rebound.
So a critical draw once again, and Lawler will take it opposite Marin as Giles is out of the box in 4 seconds, and we get the whistle. So we'll have to redo it. UMD had won the draw, so they can win it again. That will set them up for one final shot attempt before Giles could get into play. This time, though, it's one back by the Badgers. Mickelson behind the net takes control, and Giles is out of the box. We're 5 aside with 6:18 to go in the third. Lonzo spinning with it outside the far ring. Lawler has lost her stick. She's reaching for it with her glove. Lonzo still playing with it, lost on the stick check. Marin giving chase, but loses to Mickelson, and Mickelson pushes on ahead. Sales fell down in the neutral zone and is going to get called for closing her hand on the puck, so we'll get another stoppage here.
Actually, a pretty smart play there by Sales. She got the puck in her glove, and as she was retrieving it with her hand, she kind of fell backwards there, so she held on to it just so she wouldn't give the Badgers an odd man rush.
6:04 to go at the deck on a night when temperatures have reached 20 below zero outside in Duluth, Minnesota. Brian Schultz, Angie Francisco, so glad you could join us. USCHO game of the week. It's been a good one, as it tends to be between Wisconsin and Minnesota-Duluth. Badgers have a 1-0 lead courtesy of Megan Duggan. They had a number of opportunities besides as they're out shooting UMD 35-20. But Rita Schäuble and company have done a nice job on senior night. But here's Bauer looking for more far side. Wrist shot up high. Schäuble reaching for it, but it missed the target. Matthews holds along the blue line as Duggan chips to Bauer in the corner. Matched up with Miriam Trepanier. Duggan comes down low to help out. Zog floats back into the circle, trying to make herself available. Bauer saucers up top to Matthews, right back to the Kazmaier Award winner, Sarah Bauer. Skipping a pass far side. Emily Morris has there, backhands to Zog in the corner, spinning against Sarah Murray. Zog tucks it to Bauer. Bauer losing on the poke check, takes a moment to gather, gets it back to Zog. Zog behind the net, puts her back to Sarah Murray, works it in front. Duggan came up empty on the shot attempt. Morris turns one toward goal. That's pinballing in the low slot, finally gathered and fired down for an icing by Sarah Murray.
Yeah, just under 5 minutes to go here, and for the first time, it's pretty clear that UMD seems a bit gassed here. You know, just everyone out on the ice, kind of hanging their heads and looking for some energies, maybe looking for some of their teammates to make some plays.
Off the draw, Wagner scales it around to the far side. Mickelson holds the point there. Down low to Keesley. Now Giles losing. And Holmlove puts it into space to Wagner with 4:43 to go in the third. The indirect pass too far for Marin to catch up to. Lonzo gets a touch in the offensive zone. Lonzo powers after it against Slusser in the corner. Gets it to Marin behind the net. Marin rubbed out against the back glass. Lawler's reaching for it with that small frame, but it pokes free to Lonzo. Skipping a pass nicely up top to Rasmussen. Wristing it toward goal. The tip by Marin and a kick save by Dufour. Down low, it's Lonzo. Lonzo trying to escape against Lawler. Bodies collide. That creates space up top for the drive from Rasmussen. The tip is made. Dufour makes the save on the follow. Slusser got a glove to it. Here comes the wraparound by Lonzo. Dufour stopped that as well, and the follow is denied by the skates of Mickelson. And just when we say that UMD looks tired, they find some extra juice to put together their best offensive sequence of the third. Noemi Marin far side collides with Jasmine Giles. They continue to tussle for it. Marin kicks it free to Rasmussen, who has a lane to shoot again. Dufour bobbles it and is able to smother it as the puck squirts free in the aftermath. We get a little pushing and shoving for the first time between these two longtime rivals.
Quick whistle there. Dufour didn't really look like she had it, but as you said, easily the best chances that UMD's had on offense really since the first period.
And the home crowd applauds as Marin and company head to the bench for a well-deserved change in the lines. Both teams will reset their units. And Dufour, to her credit, who has seen sporadic action tonight, coming up with some fine stops to preserve her shutout bid. As off the draw, DeMule holds up top. Peltery wrist shot And went through the sticks, but was not tipped. In front, one-timer, they score! Corinne Demule for Emmanuel Play, and bang, bang, UMD has done it again against the Badgers. A late rally to tie the game at 1.
Corinne Demule, as you said earlier, she's one of the players that's really been stepping up for the Bulldogs here, and huge goal for her, probably the biggest of the career. Tawny Matala, hometown hero, working hard down low, as was Emmanuel Blais. Puck came out to Demule. I believe it was Blais who found her out front. She was all alone and put it past the floor.
That play very reminiscent of the play that UMD used to rally against Ohio State. In that situation, it was Lonzo who banged home the one-timer, but very similar. A bang-bang play, seemingly innocent, and all of a sudden, a UMD player escaped free in front against a usually airtight Badger defense in Dufour, who had just made a number of fine saves. Not able to close the 5-hole in time there. Demule picks up her 11th of the season from Blais at 16.5 of the third, and we're all tied at 1 as these two teams continue to play excellent hockey against each other. Wisconsin can't be too unhappy about their execution, but so far they can be unhappy about the dividends that have been paid to them for their efforts, as they have given away a point last night and now find themselves in a deadlock one more time.
You know, everyone in the building was thinking about it. UMD's just hanging around, and what do you know? Tie it up again.
Rolling puck now as UMD looking a little energized. They get more attack zone time. Of course, a good counter and a good elixir for that is putting Sarah Bauer's line back out there. Ooh, Duggan took some heavy contact from Blais in the offensive zone. There's going to be a penalty to the Bulldogs, and hope Megan Duggan is okay. UMD never touched up. That's odd. They didn't blow the whistle, so Bauer's going to carry forward offensively. Now she sort of gives the puck away. And as the whistle is blown with 2:37 to go in the third, Megan Duggan is helped to the bench, where I think she's going to be okay. And so in a 1-1 tie, Wisconsin has an opportunity to do to UMD what UMD did to them last night, which is score a late power play goal. Wisconsin's power plays looked excellent, Angie, but so far, Rita Schäuble and company have done enough to keep them at bay.
Right, it's one thing to look excellent, and it's another to actually cash in on it.
It's something that Mark Johnson's told me a number of times when I ask him about the power play. He's like, you have games where you look great and go 0 for 8, and then you have games where you look terrible and you go 3 for 5. He's like, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. Up top, Bobby Jo Slusser feeding Mickelson as Blais sits in the box for 2. Slusser head on with the goal. Stick is cocked. She doesn't shoot. Near side to Lawler. Lawler passes tipped down low. The backhanded save by Schäuble. Keasley works her way out from behind the net. Skipping a pass, Lawler had to go through her skate. The service was just not on her tape. And a diving Noemi Marin gets the clear.
That's vintage Noemi Marin. Looks like she's hobbling to the bench here. Came down maybe awkwardly on her arm.
Well, she was diving into the boards as she cleared that. She takes a seat on the back row of the bench as UMD clears the puck one more time. But the last thing Shannon Miller needs right now with all the ailing forwards is for her best all-around forward to be at less than 100%. But she's trying to shake things off with 1:10 to go on the Blais minor and 1:45 to go in regulation. Still tied at 1 apiece as Karin Demule's 11th has answered Megan Duggan's 20th in this one. Janelle Zaw, the drop pass is to Duggan, who's back out there. Good to see she's okay. Up top to Mickelson for a drive that went through high and wide. Sales just trying to freeze the puck behind the net. Can't do that as it's worked free to Bauer. Bauer protecting the puck against Peltery far side. Down low to Zog. Right back to Sarah Bauer. Schlusser is cheating in from the point down low. Zog doesn't see her. Zog, though, has a little bit of room to work with below the end line. And up top it goes Mickelson. One-timer on the deflection. It was Duggan, but Schäuble made the save.
And Noemi Marin back on her feet and looks like she's heading back out on the ice here. And not a surprise to anyone who knows about that kid. You know, as Shannon Miller says, she's the heart and soul of this team. Tremendous leader, tremendous competitor. She's one of those kids who isn't the fastest skater, doesn't have the best shot, but is one of the best players in the country.
Interesting. So Wisconsin has expended a timeout. Very interesting strategic move. It gives Mark Johnson the ability to keep that top unit out there, but it also buys a fatiguing UMD team a little bit of a respite as well. They have 33 seconds of 5-on-4 time to work with, and 1:10 left in the third period as we see Kim Martin give Rita Schäuble an encouraging tap for some good work and good hands once again by Duggan in front, creating havoc.
Well, Rita's just looks so strong and so confident back there. And they say, you know, your best penalty killer has to be your goalie, and that's certainly been the case tonight.
Well, for the former All-American and Kazmaier finalist, it has been an up-and-down senior season, but thus far, at least, this has been probably her finest hour of the campaign. And she has kept her team in it with 37 saves now, many on deflections and from very competent shooters on the Badgers side. Her D has blocked some shots as well, and Karin DeMule has thrown her a lifeline with the courtesy of a one-time goal from Emmanuel Blay. But Blay holding her breath for the next 33 seconds as she's in the box. And Duggan's going to take this draw against Marin to Scheublin's right. Off the draw, Zog fires away, and Scheublen comes up with save number 38 on the evening. Lonzel then is knocked down far side, and Bauer's going to get hit with a penalty. She hacks her stick on the ice. She can't believe it, but the call is going to be tripping on the Kazmaier Award winner, and so 25 seconds of 4-on-4, and now we're really talking about a same situation as last night.
She is not happy about that one. Again, offensive zone penalty on the power play, and you know, maybe a little bit of a makeup call. You know, it's hard to say. I mean, they're both penalties, and you're gonna call that. But it should be interesting here.
So remember, last night it was Mickelson, and actually UMD, of course, pulled its netminder down 1-0 to tie the game 6-on-4. Here it is 1-1. With 4-on-4 for 20 seconds, then UMD is going to finish out regulation on the power play, looking for the victory. And Wisconsin makes another error here as they're going to ice the puck, maybe forgetting that it was
actually
4-on-4.
Slusser, kind of a surprise from the captain back there.
I wonder if she just forgot it was 4-on-4. Maybe thought her team was already penalty killing, and now she heads off. Late substitutions. Lawler, though, excellent on the draw, wins that one back to the corner to Mickelson. Marin trying to dig it free, but it goes right to Lawler's stick. And Lawler's always dangerous in space, and she comes up left wing with a full head of steam. Lawler cuts to the right wing side, working her way down low. The centering pass in front, reaching for it with Sales to deflect it. Mickelson on the wrist shot, stick to side by Scheublin. And now Minnesota-Duluth is on a power play with 35 seconds to go in a regulation in a 1-1 game. And they've got a 2-on-1 as Lonzo carries it over the line. Lonzo in the slot, bothered and tripped down by Bible, but I think that play was long dead amidst the crowd cheering. Did not hear an offsides whistle as Peltery was in too soon.
I certainly didn't see it there. Lonzo a couple times tonight has been sneaking around and springing loose for odd man rushes. He's had a couple 2-on-1s and a breakaway back in the first period.
So 28.2 on the clock. Karin DeMule's 11th late in the third has answered Megan Duggan's 20th late in the first. That's all we have on the board. Rita Scheublen 38 saves, Christine Dufour 25. UMD, though, has a power play with Sarah Bauer in the box. The wrist shot is toward Dufour, kicked out by the skates of Slusser. And now Marin with 15 seconds. Up top, Peltery, right back to the captain, Marin. Skipping a pass far side, Sales, wrist shot, save is made, puck is loose, and Dufour smothers it in the nick of time.
Homelove right on the doorstep there. There's a shot from Lonzel over on the left side, and Homelove really didn't have anywhere to put it, even though it was on her stick right in front of the net.
A game effort by both the defending national champions and an ailing Minnesota-Duluth team. So Wisconsin, 14-game unbeaten streak. UMD unbeaten in its last 10. Neither wants to see that one come to an end. They're tied at 1 with 5 seconds to go in regulation. Maybe chance for one final shot. Here it comes from Peltery. It's blocked by Slusser, and we're headed to overtime as UMD still will have 57 seconds to work with on the power play.
Wow, here we go again, but obviously UMD had a huge advantage here of having 57 seconds to start the overtime session on the power play.
And they'll get 2 minutes here to actually rest their top players to keep them out there on this power play.
Good points. And I'm sure that Wisconsin would like to have Bauer out there killing the penalty, but of course she's in the box here.
So high drama at the Duluth Entertainment and Convention Center, and something about the Minnesota-Duluth-Wisconsin matchup. You go back to Thanksgiving weekend, it was Kim Martine stealing the show in a 2-0 shutout win, then being bested in a 1-0 decision the following day. Last night, UMD scores in the final minute of regulation to salvage a 1-1 tie. And again here tonight, it's DeMule with 3.5 to go in the third, staking UMD to a 1-1 deadlock as we get set for sudden death overtime. And Sarah Bauer's got 57 seconds of a tripping minor to serve.
I think last night there was a little bit different feel here. UMD probably just looking to get through that overtime period and get that point. But right now, there's no question about it. They're going for this win right here.
And again, from the standpoint of tournament implications, how big would 2 wins and a tie against the Wisconsin Badgers look? You think about the criteria that UMD is going to face. one of the things you're going to look at is record against teams under consideration, record against common opponents, and that's going to be very significant when you talk about comparing UMD to a Minnesota team, which is 0-3-1 against Wisconsin this year. So a lot of implications to this one if the UMD can pull out the 2 points.
That would be huge. I mean, Shannon Miller, as we heard in the interview, is talking about this time just wanting to survive here, and this would far exceed that. This would really give them postseason life, as you were saying.
Well, you heard her in the interview say she expected pretty much a good effort from Friday and didn't really offer any predictions as to Saturday. But on senior night, a lot of emotions, a lot of adrenaline, and perhaps helping the cause, and a game effort from Rita Schäuble, the senior on senior night in nets, playing her finest game of the season with 39 saves through regulation. But UMD, to their credit, they were outshot badly in the second period, 16-5. They mounted a surge in that third period. They actually put 11 shots in net, culminating in that Demule tally, and now they'll look for the win as Lawler will meet Marin in the faceoff circle at center. So Marin, Lonzo, Homelove, Sales, and Peltry opposite Lawler, Keesley, Mickelson, and Slusser. A very formidable penalty-killing quartet for the defending national champs. Haiti Peltry off the draw win by Marin. Lugs it into the zone on the left wing side. Protects against Mickelson, who wheels away into the circle. Peltry has Sales up top. Sales on the one-timer. Deflection, and Dufour had things sealed down low to make the save. The puck bounces off the wall, held by Peltry. Wrist shot is tipped, loose in front. Homelove trying to bat at it. Good stick-on-stick D by Mickelson, and Slusser has time to rocket it all the way down.
That's what they call a home ice bounce. Wisconsin trying to clear the puck, hits one of the divisions in the glass and pops right out to Peltari on the point there, so she gets another good scoring opportunity.
Here she comes again, trying to feather it toward goal. Homelove hacks it just wide with 12 seconds to go on the Bauer minor here in overtime. Noemi Marin, patient outside the ring, up top to Sales, right back to Marin. Big one-timer. That was tipped by Slusser wide. Bauer's back in 3 seconds. Lonzo down low, forks it behind the net to Homelove. Homelove on the backhand. Here comes Bauer into the play. Homelove trying to center it, squirted through to Marin, but she had her stick tied up, and Bauer's out of the box and racing up the ice on the left wing side. Sarah Bauer with speed into the high slot. She's tripped up. There's going to be a penalty to the UMD Bulldogs, and so Sarah Bauer took one at the end of regulation. She draws one early in overtime, and can Wisconsin's power play, which has served them so well all season but not served them well tonight, come through here in OT?
Wow, to be honest with you, I'm actually a little bit surprised about that penalty. We're going to see Wagner going to the box again. Bauer coming up with some speed and tried to get a poke check in there. Bauer goes down to the ice, and so UMD's down.
Tuomanen and Duggan in the face-off circle, won by the Bulldogs. They've done a nice job on draws late in this contest. That's also helped them get back on even footing, and they get a clearance here with 3:38 to go in overtime, and it's Wagner in the box for 2. 1-1 is the score. Duggan's 20th and Demule's 11th. What we have on the score sheet, a turnover. In walks Blay, and Dufour stops Emmanuel Blay shorthanded. Blay had the game on her stick, and Dufour making a huge stop there to preserve the 1-1 tie for the moment. Here's Zog the other way. Zog, wrist shot, kick save by Schäuble. Puck bounce to the near side. It's hammered up the wall and down.
That was an absolute nightmare for Wisconsin right there. The defenseman just gave up the puck right in the slot, and all of a sudden Blay had the puck on her stick. I think it kind of surprised her a bit.
Zog now turns to the corner. She has a step. In walks Zog to the forehand, and she scores! Janelle Zog, power play goal in overtime. And Wisconsin finally finds the winning formula on the power play. Janelle Zog will send the Badgers back to Wisconsin with a victory 2-1.
Yeah, Janelle Zog just stuck behind the UMD defense there, and for the first time tonight really got Schäuble moving. And you got a feel for the senior goaltender. Outstanding effort here today. Had 38 shots, 39 shots here, and give all the credit to Janelle Zog there on that final play.
Heck of a contest tonight between Wisconsin and Minnesota-Duluth, and you see some handshakes between the coaching staff. I think both of them would be impressed with the efforts that were given, but even on that last sequence, Emmanuel Blay couldn't ask for a better shot shorthanded. Dufour makes a huge save, and incidentally, Christine Dufour has never been beaten this year, so she stays undefeated. And then at the other end, the speed, the deceptive speed with that long stride of Janelle Zog, and Zog tucking it past for her 21st on the power play at 2:02 of overtime. And as you mentioned, the 41st shot of the night for the Wisconsin Badgers gives them a 2-1 victory and a very hard-earned 3 points on the weekend.
Yeah, Janelle Zog needed every bit of her 6'1" body there to give. She gave Schäuble a little bit of a move, and then took every last inch there to reach over and beat Schäuble right along the ice.
Great stuff here tonight at the deck. Let's take a quick commercial break and then bring things back, recap the scoring. I'll ask Angie to pick out some stars of the game when a lot of players came to play. But for tonight, the defending national champions surviving a very gallant effort from an undermanned UMD Bull.